ever wanted to blow people's minds with card tricks, I've got fantastic news for you. I started learning card tricks in 2013, which means I've been practicing sleight of hand for over a decade. And I've made a list of the top 14 card tricks that are easy to learn, no one detects, and leaves everyone speechless. In this video, I'm going to be going through all 14, 6 of which are going to be specific sleight of hand techniques, and 8 are actual routines that you can go out and start performing today. And if you ever wanted to become a magician or a better magician, this is going to be the channel for you. So subscribe and ring the bell so you can get notified, and let's get into this video. So let's get into it. The first one we're actually going to do is a card trick. So we're going to have you select a card at random. It does not matter what it is. And I'm actually going to show you without even taking a peek, so hopefully you got that. Okay, perfect. Now what we're going to have you do is I'm going to have you put this somewhere in the middle of the deck. And this is something I even do. I perform every one of these tricks in real life. So if I'm going and doing street magic or a wedding or something, I will 100% perform any of these card tricks. Now your card is somewhere probably a little bit past half, but it doesn't matter exactly where the card is. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can figure it out where it is and locate its exact position with it behind my back. So I can put the entire deck behind my back, and I'm gonna flip over one. And let's see which one I grabbed. So I got one right there. There it is. Only one flipped over in the entire deck, and the one that I flipped over is hopefully your card. All you're gonna do to actually set up this trick is take the bottom card and flip it upside down. So you have 51 face down and 1 face up. Pretty much the entire trick is already done. You let them select any card, and again, it does not matter. It is completely a free choice. So in this case, they select the Queen of Diamonds. As they're looking at their card, so they're taking a look at it, you're just gonna flip the deck over. So you can either drop your hand to flip it over, you can even have it in your other hand and use your other hand to do it. It doesn't matter, as long as when they're not paying attention, you just flip the deck. The entire thing is upside down except for just one card, which means when you take their card back, you're not actually placing it in a deck that you're not gonna be able to lose it. It's now the opposite direction. Now, what you don't wanna do is the same thing that you did when it was the correct way, because at the beginning you spread through the cards, that way they could select one. The problem is if it's this way, they have their card and you spread through them, they're now gonna know exactly what just happened. So make sure that the cards are the correct direction, which means upside down. That way when you push this in, it stays all squared up. And now what the card should look like is one upside down card, a bunch of face up cards, the one card you just placed the wrong way, which is theirs, and then the rest being face up. But then you wanna make sure that you can flip this one upside down. So when I go behind my back and flip a card, what I'm actually doing is I place this behind my back and I just take this card and flip it over. Once you flip this card over, and you can even make a big sound effect with it, that way they know that something flipped. And once you do that, you just go through the cards until you find it, or you can even hand the entire deck to the spectator for them to go through the cards. They see only one is the wrong way, and it's theirs. Now let's get right into it out of the gate. The next move we're gonna do is an individual sleight of hand technique, and it's probably the most difficult one we're gonna do the entire time. And the reason I'm going with the most difficult one as the first individual technique is because the #1 move you need to know in all of being a magician ever. And what a double lift looks like is you take a card and you turn it over, but what you didn't actually know is the fact that I just turned over 2 cards and not just one. This one technique leads to hundreds of different performances. The most basic of which is once you've done your double lift, the card that they think is theirs, which is not, you can then just put in the middle of the deck. They think you've now lost their card, and their card is still on the top. First, you're gonna hold the deck in mechanic's grip or dealer's grip. So your thumb is gonna be along the left long edge, your pointer finger on top, and 3 fingers along the right long edge. You're gonna reach down with your pointer and thumb, and you're gonna be coming down in between your pinky and ring finger of your left hand. Now you'll notice that the deck is not perfectly squared up like this. It's a little bit beveled. My thumb pushed it over to the side. This is gonna make it a little bit easier when you're trying to grab this card, because it's not gonna be grabbing it from a squared deck. This does make it a lot harder. If it's moved over a lot, you have a lot more room to be able to try to actually pick it up. So once you're in this position, you're gonna come over in between these two. The reason you're doing it in between the back two instead of the front two is because if you accidentally go in between the front two and don't do a perfect double lift, they're definitely gonna catch you. But if I'm at this angle and I'm in the back, you don't even see anything. So to do the move, you have your hand in the dealer's grip or mechanic's grip, you have it beveled over already, and you're gonna reach in between these two. Now an exaggerated version is actually going like halfway down and riffling all the way up until you get to 2 cards. Now, something I see a lot of beginners do is when they're trying to take a card, they set it down like this. Because if you only had 1 card, you're just gonna drop it. What you're not gonna do is that. That looks really weird. And that's a tendency for a lot of people first learning the double lift. So once you get to here, just drop it. They'll stay together. Now, one thing I'd recommend when you're doing this is to not drop it all the way squared up with the deck, and you drop it a little bit forward. The reason behind this is that you only have to do the double lift once. And the reason this makes it easier is because once you're at this point, you can push down with your pointer finger, it pops it up in the back, and you don't have to try to riffle on that back end, you can just turn it over and you're done. And the truth is, you could be doing this move for a decade, 2 decades, or 3, but if you can get this move down, you're gonna be okay. The last thing that I see beginner magicians do is when they start doing the double lift, they'll do their double lift and it'll look like they're taking a lot of time to be able to get this down. But then, when they have only 1 card, they'll go like this. Oh, I'm good. And they'll flip it in all sorts of different ways. You can't do that. Because the truth is, if when you have only 1 card, you turn it like this, or you push it over every time, but whenever you have 2 cards, you do this, those are 2 very different moves, and spectators will catch it. So whatever you do for the double lift, make sure you do for when you're only turning over 1 card. Honestly, this next card trick might be the easiest one I teach you the entire time. And that is a strong statement. Because for the most part, you're not actually gonna do any work. This is gonna be a card trick that the spectator does to themselves. So if you want to ahead of time, you can give a shuffle or however you want to do this. It does not matter. That was a horrible shuffle, but we're just gonna leave that alone. So you can give it some cuts, doesn't matter. And once you're done with that, you hand the deck over to the spectator. All of this now, your hands are completely free, which is why it's the easiest one. You're gonna ask the spectator to cut the deck about in half. They cut the deck, and they put it in now into 2 piles. Then they have to cut it into 2 more. They cut both of these in half. And this is all completely free choice and wherever the spectator wants to cut it. Take the leftmost packet, and you're gonna instruct the spectator to take the top 3 cards, put it on the bottom, and then take 1 and put it on each of the other piles. And again, this is all the spectator. Your hands have not touched the cards at all. And you're gonna repeat this same process for every single one of these packets. And I'm making sure to not put this in fast forward, although it would probably go faster, just because I wanna make sure that you guys know there's nothing fishy going on here, except for the fact that my entire stool is shaking. So, last one, you put 1 on each, and you put this down. At this point, the card trick's done. What do I mean by that? I mean, somehow the spectator found the ace of diamonds, and the ace of spades, and the ace of hearts, and the ace of clubs. Now, how can you do this too, and actually get the spectator to do a card trick? Well, this 4 ace trick, you just take the 4 aces, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you put them on the top of the deck. Now, you'll do it face down. I'm doing it face up for demonstration purposes. And there's also some false cuts and false shuffles that if you want to learn them, I'll also have a playlist in the description as well. You can learn these, as many of them as you want to, because all I'm doing is shuffling the cards and keeping these 4 on top. I did the same thing with the cut at the beginning. All 4 stayed on top. But if you need to and you haven't got as comfortable with something like that yet, you can just start like this at the very beginning. And at this point, the entire thing works by itself, because once they do this, all you have to do is instruct them to start with any of these 3. I usually go from left to right. That way they end with this one. They take 3 to the bottom, go 1, 2, and the only thing that matters is that they put the 1 card on top of the ace. They take this one, 3 cards to the bottom, 1, 2, 1 card on top of the ace. Same thing with this one, 1 cards end up on top of the aces. By the end of it, they take this one, take 3 cards, which we just put on top, bring it to the bottom, and now you put 1 here, you put 1 here, you put 1 here, and they just found all 4 aces. Now there's 2 main reasons I like this next sleight of hand technique. The first of which is actually from the movie Now You See Me. The second one is because I'm using the deck of cards that I created. So if you want to pick up the sentence playing cards, they'll be linked as the first link in the description below. Now let me actually show you how to do this. Now I'm going to show you the technique as a routine. So let's say you selected this card right here. I'll look away, you take a look at it. Now I'm just going to shuffle it somewhere into the deck. It doesn't matter where. You can have it lost completely. Oh, there's even a joker in here. Shoot. Well, we're just going to pretend like I didn't leave that in there. So at this point, I'm going to use 1 random card to help find your card. And we'll use the 2 of clubs. Now the two of clubs is gonna help me find your card by doing this. All you have to do is give it a spin on your finger and make it disappear, just like this. You give it one wave, two waves, and just like that, the card is gone, it's back, and now it's yours. So this move, the back palm, is the main one I'm teaching you, which is where you actually get it to vanish behind your hand and come back. And this is the move that was in Now You See Me. It was also used in Ant-Man.
Close-up magic. I learned that. How'd you do it, Scott? Do what? The card trick. Seriously?
All you actually need is one card. For the performance, what I did was I shuffled it, I got it back to the top, did a double lift, that way it wasn't yours. Of course, I still had it in the second position, and then just took your card. The spinning was completely pointless. It's just a move called Pirouette. It's a fun cardistry move that I like to do, and if you want to learn it, I'll have it linked in the description. Now, before I get into it, don't forget that your fingers have 3 different parts to it. The middle one is going to be coming up in a second. Place the card on this, thumb on top. The 2 middle fingers are going to curl, and the second part of these 2 outside fingers are going to be locked in to the side of this card. Now, if you get rid of the card, you're, what's up, yo? Like, I don't know. We're just gonna pretend I didn't do that. Anyways, so you have it right here. Your thumb is still on top, curled in the back, just like this, and these 2 fingers are on the side. Now, to be able to actually do this move, your thumb can get rid of it, and all you're going to do is extend the 2 middle fingers and pinch with the outside. So as I extend the 2 middle ones and pinch on the outside, it'll do this in the back, which means in the front, it looks like this. So in the back, it's all extended, and the 2 outside ones are pinching it together, and then to bring it back, you bring all 4 fingers down, grab it with your thumb, and extend all 4 fingers. Now, if you do it under the guise of a wave, you're gonna be set. So as I do it, on my first one, I don't do anything. On my second one, I curl my fingers, and on my third one, I grab it and extend. Now it looks like this. So from the back, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Here's another really fun card trick. All you're gonna do is you're gonna have the spectator give the deck a shuffle. Doesn't matter how they shuffle it. And then what I'm gonna do is, with complete just psychic abilities or whatever way you wanna spin it, I'm going to just choose random cards. It's really just random, and put them into 2 different piles. So put some over here. I'm gonna put some over here. Let's put another one over here. Let's use maybe this one. Let's grab a few more. We can even grab a pile and get rid of them. Let's use that one maybe, and how about another 2, and let's get rid of some more. It's really, you can see how much strategy is going into this in case you were wondering. Let's grab another one and we'll be done. Okay, so the rest of these cards you can get rid of. You just need a little small pile. We'll get rid of all of those, and now, yeah, let's see how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards. And honestly, it changes every time I perform it. Now, what you're gonna do is let the spectator choose any card. They just tap the back of any of them. So let's say you choose this one, it doesn't matter. Okay, you got it? Now all I'm gonna do, put it somewhere back in the middle. The spectator can even choose where it goes, and I'll even give it a shuffle. Now, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna find your card without ever looking at the faces. You can even have it done like this, it doesn't matter. I even let the spectator give it an overhand shuffle. It doesn't matter, okay? At this point, I'm gonna lay out all the cards face down. So let's do it like this. We can do a 4, a 3, and a 3. At this point, you can wave your hands over them or however you wanna do it, but I know without any doubt that this one is your card. Now, the way that I do it is very simple. You need to find a deck of cards that it has this thing called a one-way back design. A one-way back design means instead of it being like the 2 or the 4, it's something like the 5. You can see on this 5 that the club in the middle is currently facing up, but right now it's facing down. There's a right side up and a upside down. On this 2 of diamonds, both ways are right side up. These are the ones you don't want when it comes to the back design. So in the middle of this back design, there's a little star that's currently right side up. Now it's upside down, and this makes a big difference. So when I'm going through, I'm only looking for a bunch of right side up stars, and I only found right side up ones when I did it through the first time. So I got rid of even a bunch of right side up stars, but I made sure that the ones that were in this pile that I kept were all right side up. All of them are. You choose a card, and as I show it to you, I don't show it to you like this. I show it to you and I turn it before I show it. That way when I put it back in, it's now the only one upside down. So now I can give it a shuffle. Now I'm keeping them all the same direction. I'm not gonna turn them first because now I'm messing it up. So make sure to only do overhand shuffles or shuffles like this where they all stay the same direction. And then once you lay them out, right side up, right side up, right side up, upside down, right side up, 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 right side up. So you automatically know which one their card is. This one is called the Gemini Twins card trick, and let me show you how easy this one is to do. The spectator actually does the shuffling on this one. You don't even have to shuffle your own cards. Makes it super easy. You can use a completely borrowed deck, does not matter. The cards are now all shuffled. At this point, you'll take the cards back and you'll look for 2 different prediction cards. So let me look through this deck real quick. Let me find prediction card number 1. And let's go for prediction card number 2. Let's see. I don't really like any of these. Let's go with that one. Okay. These are my 2 prediction cards. Okay. We have the Jack of Spades and the King of Diamonds. Those are my 2 predictions. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to deal cards down one at a time, and whenever you want to call out stop, you just let me know. It is a completely free choice. Doesn't matter when. So let's say you said stop here. I'll take my first prediction card, I'll place it right where you said stop and put the rest of the cards on top of that. Then I'll do it one more time for the other prediction card. And I can just do it, let's say you said stop early that time. So you called out stop, you want it right there, doesn't matter. So all I have to do now is I can just show you right where you moved them to. I can give it one cut, I don't even have to if I don't want to. And let's see where your cards are at. Okay, so we have the first one right here, and the card that it ended up next to. And we have the other one here, and the one that it ended up next to. And if you take a look at this, you'll see that your one card ended up next to its match, and the other next to its match. Now to do this card trick, it is super simple. Again, the spectator even does all the shuffling for you. To figure out which 2 prediction cards you're gonna use, you look at what's on the bottom and what's on the top. So you have the 4 of spades and 6 of clubs, which now you're looking for the other black 4 and the other black 6. So you go through and you find the black 4 first, and you set that one off first, then you look for the black 6 and you use that one next. Now, whichever one on the bottom should be first. That's gonna come back in a second. So, now that you have these 2 done, it doesn't matter what they do, because again, this one's on top, this one is now here. So the first card you're laying down is matching with card number 2. Then you keep on going. Let's say they decide to stop here. Now, when they say stop here, you're putting the rest of them on top. But what's already there? This is already on the bottom of this deck, and you're just setting it on top of the other one. Now, currently, the 6 of clubs is already on the bottom. So when they go through and keep on saying waiting, 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 and call out stop here, and they put the next one in, again, we're just setting that card right next to it. So when you go through, all you have to do is find their card and the one above it. Don't go for the one below it, grab the one above it, and you'll have both sets of pairs, the Gemini Twins. The next one is a really cool one. It's called a card force. I'm going to make you choose a card. Here's how it works. I'm gonna even let the spectator shuffle it up first, it doesn't matter. And now I can actually even tell you ahead of time that you are going to choose the 2 of clubs. You can shuffle it again, it doesn't matter. All you're gonna know is you're gonna have to choose the 2 of clubs right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and riffle down through the cards, and at any point you just tell me when to stop, okay? So I riffle down, let's say you said stop right here. I cut it right where you said, and you chose, yep, the 2 of clubs. Let me show you how to do this card force called the riffle force. So once the cards are shuffled, all you have to do is get a peek at whatever the bottom one is. So all I did was, as I was talking and I was giving the cards a shuffle, I'm squaring them up, and you can take a look at the bottom. So it doesn't matter how you want to do it, even if you're just talking with your hands. Now, of course, this is a blank card, so this one's not going to be very helpful at all. What you're going to do at this point is you're going to cut it into the middle. So if you need to, you can pick it up and switch it. You can do it however you need to. What I'd recommend is a thing called a swing cut, which is the most basic version of a cardistry move at all. Thumb on the bottom, middle and ring on top. Pick up a little bit of it with your pointer finger and move it to the left. Now, usually your middle finger will bend, or it'll even come off for a second to be able to get it there. That's fine. Grab it in between your thumb and your pointer finger and move it to dealer's grip. That's it. So pick it up with your pointer finger, move it to the left, and then you grab it in between your thumb and pointer finger, and now you're done. You know that the bottom one right now is the 8 of spades. You move this one to the bottom. If you want to, you can even do it again. And now put the rest on top. But when you put it on top, you're gonna put your pinky inside the break. So it looks like this from the back, but from the front, you'd never know. In the back, I have a break right underneath where your card is about to be. As I riffle down and you say stop, instead of picking up here, which would not be your card, I'm gonna cover it up with my thumb and pick up at the break. Now they think they chose the 8 of spades. Now what happens if they go really slow? And you're like, okay, well they don't say anything for a while, and it gets all the way down here and they call out stop, and then you pick it up out here. That's clearly gonna be obvious. So make sure when you do your cuts, the first thing is that you get their card to the middle, because it gives you the most amount of leg room if they go really fast or really slow. The other thing is I'm actually riffle decently quickly. That way they feel like they have the need to say stop quickly. So I go like this. What I'm gonna do is on the demonstration, I can say, all I'm gonna do is riffle the cards like this. And I do that pretty quickly. That way they see, oh shoot, he's gonna go quick. I've gotta say stop quick. So when I do the actual thing, it's always gonna go pretty quickly. They say it about the middle. You pick up where the break is. So all you have to do is pick up in the back with your thumb and show them their card. At that point, you can even bury the card somewhere in the middle of the deck. They can shuffle it up, they can do whatever, but it doesn't matter how much shuffling they do, you already know what their card is. Now this next one is called a step ahead card trick, and let me show you why. First, we can go ahead and give the deck a mix. Doesn't matter, even the spectator can give the deck a mix. And then what you're gonna do is you can even show the spectator that the cards are truly in a random order. So go ahead, get done with it, and now you're gonna let the spectator cut the deck anywhere that they want to. And what I can do is I can look at the 4th card over here and tell you what the 4th card over here is, no matter where the spectator cuts. Watch. I'll look through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This tells me that that one is the Queen of Diamonds. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, and the 4th card is the Queen of Diamonds. And I can do this again. And honestly, I can do this as many times as you want me to. So the spectator then gets it again. This time they cut it really uneven. Doesn't matter. I'll look at it over here. So let's take a look at this. Okay, this tells me that the one over here is the 3 of spades. 1, 2, 3, and the 4th card is the 3 of spades. And you can genuinely do this over and over. Now let me show you why it's called a step ahead trick. Even once the cards are shuffled, you still get to see the entire deck because you spread through them. Now if you need to and you don't have a table and you're doing this as a performance out somewhere, you can just spread through it in your hands to show them that it's all mixed. But just make sure that you remember whatever the 4th card is. So in this case, it's the 10 of diamonds. So I'm gonna give the deck a cut, and I remember that the top portion is over here. The spectator cut the cards. Remember what's over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you're looking at the 4th card. 9 of diamonds. Doesn't matter though. Remember, their card is already the 10. 1, 2, 3, 4th card, 10 of diamonds. Now I said you can do this as many times as you want to. Take the one over here and put it on top. You already know what the 4th card is, the 9 of diamonds. They can give it a cut. You look at it over here, you know the one over here. 1, 2, 3, 9 of diamonds. And you can look at, because you just looked at this one, you put this one on top, and now you can do it again and again and again. Now I wouldn't recommend doing it a ton of times in a row because the spectator might catch on, but it's a really easy way to get a couple quick ones in. It is a really nice step ahead card trick. Now it's time for the next trick, which is a sandwich card trick, and I'll show you what that means in a second. First, go ahead and select any card. I'm gonna turn my head away. Hopefully you've got that down. And again, it truly does not matter what card you choose or even what cards you choose. You can have the spectator cut the deck and now it's gone. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through the cards. At this point, I have to find my 2 3s. So here's the 1, and just because it's my favorite number. Oh, it's right at the beginning. Nice. Okay, cool. So I have my 2 3s right here. 3 of spades and 3 of hearts. I can put the 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom, and at this point, I can show you both cards at the exact same time. Now, I say that these are my 2 favorite cards, not because they look the coolest or anything, but because they're really good at finding your card. And all I have to do is go 1, 2, 3. And just like that, they catch your card right here. Now for this card trick, you need to use something called a key card technique. A key card is not what you use at a hotel. A key card is the card that is the key to the magic trick. Because this one right here, the Ace of Hearts, is the only card you need to remember. So you just have to remember the Ace of Hearts. They can select any card that they want to. They take a look at it. So in this case, we're using the 4 of clubs, and they place it on the top of the deck. Now, when you give it a cut and you put their card somewhere in the middle, their card's right here, and your Ace of Hearts is going to go on top of it. Now at this point, you don't know their card is the 4 of clubs, but now once you start going through the cards, you're looking for your Ace of Hearts. You see the Ace of Hearts, you know the one right on top of it is the 4. What 2 cards you're looking for is going to change every time, depending on what the next one is. So I always say I'm looking for, in this case, a 9, and the other time it was a 4, doesn't matter. You find 2 9s, and the reason you want the one right next to it is because it gives you a reason to cut the deck at that spot right next to their card. So you cut the deck right here, you turn this over, and you grab these 2 cards, because these are the 2 cards that you're using to find their card. But now that means you actually just cut the deck again. That way now their card is on the bottom. What you're gonna do now, place 1 on top and 1 on the bottom. Now, notice you can still see that card. That's intentional, because right now half their card is showing. So what you're gonna do is, when you put your hand underneath, you go all 4 fingers underneath, and the friction of your hand is gonna go on both this card and their card. That way when you throw the deck to the other hand, all the others come out because you're not touching any of them, but the 3 cards that you are actually touching with your hand is the 2 9s and their card, and that just finished the trick. Next, we're gonna do something called a card control. This is what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna take your card, which in this case is the 5 of diamonds, and it doesn't matter the fact that I know it, because this is just for a demonstration, and you just need to know the fact that what your card is, and is lost, and in this case a little bit above half, which isn't quite how I like to do it, but it's lost about halfway, which is what matters. Now I say that it's lost, but I also told you it's called a card control, and I say that because I still know where your card is. Now let me teach you how this card control is done. You can give it a dribble and a cut. You can even just turn over the top card. It doesn't matter what you're gonna do, as long as the spectator selects a card in some way and gets that card to the top. You can even have it selected there and then turn it over. I don't care. So let's say we even use the 8 of clubs in this scenario. Now pick up about half of the deck. And now on the bottom hand, you're gonna have your hand in that same dealer's grip from before. Your top hand is gonna be very specific. Thumb on the bottom, middle and ring on the top. What it should look like happens is you take your thumb and slide that card off. Now I want you to try the same thing, but don't grab a card, just mimic the motion. It should look like this. You're not actually grabbing anything, you're just keeping that motion the same. That way if you were to grab one, it would do the exact same thing. Now you actually have to grab one, but not with your thumb. On this one side, your middle and ring finger here are gonna do all the work. When you actually come over to the top, these bottom fingers are going to grab the bottom card and slide it off instead, leaving their card on the top. So in slow motion, I'll even turn this card over and I'll turn their card over. And remember, their card is the 8 of clubs and it's on top. In slow motion, I'm grabbing their card, except I'm not. So now I have their card here, you put this on top, square up the deck, and now you can do whatever you want because their card is on top, but they think it's lost. Now it's time for me to do a lie detector card trick on you. I was a psychology major when I was in college, and let me show you one of the reasons why, because this is such a fun one where you get to really read people to do this card trick. So here's how it's gonna work. Go ahead and have a card selected, go ahead and take a look at it, it does not matter, and you do not get to see it, and all you get to do is lose the cards into the deck. Now at this point, The entire time, you are never gonna look at the face of the cards one time, not even one. Not the entire time, it doesn't matter. So what you're gonna have is the spectator is going to cut the cards into 3 piles. It doesn't matter how big the piles are, as long as there's a number of cards in each one, it doesn't really matter. Now what I'm hoping happens is that the spectator cut to their card in one of these 3. Now I only have a 3 out of 52 chance, which is not great odds for me, but you know, I can hope, right? So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna ask you on all 3 of these cards, is this your card? And I want you to tell me no. Okay? That's what I'm asking you to do. Even if it's your card, still tell me no. And I'm gonna see if I can read your facial expressions to see if I can tell you if this is your card or if it's not. Okay? Now, since we're doing it here, and of course I can't see your face, statistically it's not gonna be your card. I have again, only 3 of these cards that I get to see and 52 of them, but I still only have a 1 out of 52 chance. So I'm just gonna assume that these are not your card. Whenever I have one that isn't your card, I'll move it off to the side and I'll put that packet back down. So I just show you this and say, okay, well, is this your card? I know it's number 2. So again, statistically, probably not. So I'll take that one and I'll put this one down. We'll try it again for number 3. Is this one your card? Again, probably not. Doesn't really matter though. So we'll now take this one, we'll take this one, and we'll take this one. We'll get rid of these 3 cards because they don't matter because they weren't your cards anyways. Now at this point, I'll ask you to give me a number from like 5 to 10 and we'll try something else since none of those 3 worked. And let's say you gave me the number 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. At this point we can get rid of the rest of these and hopefully you just moved it to your card, the 4 of diamonds. Now, for some reason at that point, usually the spectators reach for these. And I haven't quite figured out why yet, but regardless, the 3 cards are the 8 of spades, the 6 of spades, and the king of spades. So luckily, none of those were your cards, so I'm not really too worried. Now this is a really fun one to perform, and there's only 2 very basic things of sleight of hand. The first one is going to be right after the selection. So they select a random card, it does not matter, and you don't get to see it. So in this case, we're gonna use the jack of spades. Put it on top, and you need to find some way of getting it to the bottom of the deck. So what I like to do is I like to do an overhand shuffle, peel 1 card off first, which is theirs, and then you just finish the shuffle. It doesn't matter how the rest of the shuffle goes, but their card is on the bottom. So that's the first of 2. Now, they can cut it wherever they want as long as there's 3 piles. And when you pick up the first pile after you've explained how the whole thing's gonna go, do it just like I did in the video. They just have to say no when you ask them all 3 times. Thumb on the bottom of the packet, 3 fingers curled around it, 3 all the way curled under, so you can move this card. You show them the first one, they say no, because that's what you instructed them to do. You take it, and you take that card, and you put it off to the side. You do the same thing for the second one, same position, show them it's not it, take that card, and put it off to the side. Now don't show them as you're placing it down. Once you show them, grab it, place it down. Don't show them once it's here. So you have this one here. When you show them the 3rd time, it's gonna be theirs. They're gonna say no. They might smirk, they might try to hold a poker face, they might do well or not. Play it off like you believe them. Take their card, and what you're gonna act like you're doing is taking their card and placing it down. What you're gonna do though is take those 3 fingers and peel their card back just a little bit. So I'm gonna exaggerate this, but peel their card back a little bit so you can grab the one underneath it instead. So now I'm grabbing a card that isn't theirs, that they think now their card is over here. I put the other 2 on top, that way their card is now on the bottom. And now no matter what number they say, between like 5 and 10, you can choose whatever numbers you want to. I'm just gonna keep on choosing cards that aren't theirs. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can go through the entire deck as far as I'm concerned. They could say 42. You just keep on going until it gets to the number that they said, and then you just grab their card. Makes it super easy. Only 2 very small bits of sleight of hand, and it is a really fun one to do as a lie detector card trick. This next trick is gonna be a really fun one, and I'll show you why in a second. Go ahead and take a look at your card. We're gonna take it and lose it somewhere in the deck. You can give it a couple shuffles. You can give it 3 shuffles. You can give it different kinds of shuffles. It doesn't actually matter. You can even give it a shuffle like this. Truly, as long as your card is lost, you're gonna be fine. Now at this point, all you have to do is show them literally any of the 52 cards and your trick is already done. So in this case, it's the 10 of hearts. Now I don't know if that's your actual card or not, but I know it's about to be. So all I have to do is give it a snap and your card is now right here the 2 of hearts. Now for this trick, a lot of that was extra stuff that you don't actually need to do. The main thing I'm going to teach you is the snap change. Now I'll show you the part that I did as well. So what I did was I took your card and I did a shuffle control. So that's an overhand shuffle, but I moved it to the bottom first. Then I kept it on the bottom. I shuffled it to the top. And then I kept it on the top. So the only thing you actually need to do is keep it on the top. However you want to do that, you can. I have a full playlist on YouTube of different ways to be able to control decks of cards, or any cards in the entire deck. Check out the playlist, it'll be linked in the description below. Or you can just do this one as social media magic, which is what, honestly, most people use it for. So as long as their card, though, is the one on top, you're gonna do your double lift. You need 2 cards right here. Now, the best way to do it is if you have 2 cards of contrasting colors. So if you have 2 red ones, it's not gonna look as good as if you have a red and a black card. At this point, once you've turned it over, and you would have already had that gap because that's what we talked about in the double lift control. You're gonna take 2 fingers, your pointer and middle finger, and you're gonna cover that bottom number. And you're gonna put your thumb in the back. And at this point, all you have to do is snap. And in slow motion, I'm pulling my middle finger down, it peels back below, and there is your card. Now from this angle, that's clearly not gonna work very well, so make sure you know your angles. If you need to do this in front of a mirror, or if you need to do it with your parents, either way, siblings, friends, whatever you've got. Or quite frankly, whoever's willing to watch. So you have it here, you do the snap change, and from the back side, you're gonna be pulling it back, it's gonna come underneath and behind. Now, too far forward and they see it, too far back, left or right, doesn't matter. Again, make sure your angles are controlled. The last thing is what to do once you've actually done this snap change. Because what you can't do at this point is if they say, okay, can I see the card? And then you hand it to them and you see, okay, well crap, there's 2. I do the snap change and all I have to do is raise the deck up and raise my hand down and I just drop this card back on the deck. It's exactly the same thing I did in the performance, which leaves you with only 1 card. This next one is a teleportation card trick. Have the spectator name any of the values, ace, 2, 3, 4, all the way through king. They can name any of them. So let's say they name the queens. Sure, it doesn't really matter. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab all 4 queens. Oh, 2 right there already on top. That's amazing. I wish I could say that I planned that. I genuinely didn't. So there's the 3rd queen and there's the 4th queen. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Okay, so all you need is the 4 queens, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now, what I'm gonna do is the teleportation part. So, let me lay out those queens real quick. And now all I'm gonna do is have you do the guessing. Okay, this is gonna be really easy for you, don't worry. I'm gonna put the first one right there, and you just have to tell me where's the queen. Now, most of the time when I perform this trick, they say it's on the bottom. The truth is, it's actually right here on top. Okay, I know that this is the first time you're trying to figure it out, I get it. So let me try again. I'm gonna take this and do it really slowly, and slowly set that one on top. Sorry, I misspoke. I meant I put it on the bottom. Let me clarify. The 3rd one, we're gonna put right here in the middle of the deck, and I'm gonna have you guess again. Okay, I think you haven't caught on yet, because the card's actually right here on top. Okay, last one, I'm gonna do this really slow. I don't know if I can go any slower. You're gonna see me put this in here, and I will slowly just tap that all the way in, that way you can actually see it going into the deck. Where do you think it is? Now usually people's first guess is on the bottom, which it's not. The next guess is on top, which it's not. And then after that, everyone says the middle, which of course, they're right because that's the only other option. Except for they're only half right. Because at that point, even though I just put it in face down, it just showed back up, face up. Now let me show you how to do this card trick, and you only use these 4 cards. It doesn't matter what 4 cards they say, you don't need 53 or a duplicate of anything. You genuinely use the 4 of whatever they say. Now, as you're doing it, no matter where they're at in the deck, you go through, they say, let's say the 4 queens. When you grab one, don't set it on the table. Instead, what you're gonna do is you're gonna set it on the top of the deck. Number 2, number 3, you go through and you find the 4th one, and I just thought I put all of them in the middle, did I not? Oh, there we go. There's the 4th one. Now, the reason you're gonna do this is that when you take them back off, 1, 2, 3, 4, you're actually gonna grab a 5th card, and it doesn't matter what that card is. Take the rest of the deck, put it face down, and don't show them, of course, the 5th card. At this point, put your thumb on the bottom, middle and ring on top, and you're gonna count them off with your left thumb. 1, 2, 3, and at this point I have 3 queens. On this side though, I've kept a firm grip because this one is actually 2 cards. So now when I put these 2 cards, which they think are 1, on the top, now the order goes queen, random card, queen, queen, queen. And then I'm gonna put these on the top of the deck. So now when I place the 4 cards down, I'm placing a queen, 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 what they think is a queen, but a random card, which means the last queen is on top already. So now when you put the first one on the bottom, there's now a queen on the bottom and the top. So you can take the one off the top and put it down. Now you take the next one and you put it on top, but there's already one on the bottom from the last time. You put it on top and now it's on the bottom. Now we just put one on top and it's still there. So when we put this next one in, what you're not gonna do is turn it back face down to put the next one in. Leave it face up, because you just had it face up because you grabbed this one off the bottom. Leave it face up. So now you're putting it in the wrong way. Put a face down card in a face up deck. You put it all the way in, the next one is on top, which means you put that one in the wrong way. And since this one is a random card, when you push this in, it doesn't matter. It just gets lost with the rest. That way you can spread through and find one upside down card right there in the middle, and that is how you teleport 4 different cards. Now I saved this one for last because it is truly one of my favorites. Go ahead and take a look at that card. I'm gonna take it and lose it somewhere into the middle of the deck. Shuffling it once, maybe twice, maybe 37 times depending on what the spectator wants. You can shuffle it that way, riffle shuffle, doesn't matter. Hindu shuffle. Pharaoh shuffle. Okay, never mind, I'll be done. Okay, regardless, I think what I've done is controlled your card straight to the top. Or maybe not. Maybe that was all just a setup to get you distracted, because this is your card. So that move is called the shake change. I highly recommend grabbing 2 cards that are different colors. You have both of them on the top of the deck. Now that you're here, you push both off, and as you're turning over this one, you're gonna push up with your pinky and slide it in. Now you have a break right there, and then you can turn this one over. The reason this is that way when you do your double lift, you don't have to actually do a double lift, you just pick up where the break is. So I can just pick up at that break, and now I have both of these cards. What you're gonna do though, to make sure that these don't bend and separate, is you're gonna bend them toward your hand. That way they'll both bend the same direction instead of one bending one way, one bending another, and then the spectator catches you. So they're both bent the same way. Thumb on the one corner at the bottom left, top right is your middle finger. Pointer finger is gonna go on this short edge, and as you wave back and forth, you're gonna take your pointer finger and pull it back toward yourself to change the card. This is called the shake change. So you shake it a couple of times, and once you're done, it will change like that. So once you're here, shake it, and in the process of shaking, turn it over. All you have to do is drop it back on top of the deck. And since the other one was already face down, you now only have 1 card right here, and it's completely free. And of course, if you're wanting to check out any of the cards like these that I used in the video, they will all be in the description below alongside any of the tutorials that I referenced. So if you want to check out any of that, click on the description and it'll all be down there. And please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want more content just like this. I'll catch you guys in the next video. This is CPM signing off.